Hello, welcome to another edition of Leafless, Not Lifeless. I'm Sharon Benjamin, your host. Thank you so much for joining and watching and listening. Make sure you leave your comments and feel free to share as well. So I'm excited about our guest for today. How many times have you heard people ask little children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Did you know what you wanted to be when you were a kid? Well, my guest today had some inkling about what he wanted to do, and he worked in that vein for some time until he had some roadblocks. And that would have not changed if there had not come a knock on his door that changed his life forever. Welcome, Clarence Pencilman Pointer. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. I am so excited for the listeners and viewers to find out about your life. So first of all, at what point in your life did you realize you are an artist?
I think I was born with the talent. And, art, when you have a talent like I have, you don't discover it. It discovers you. It's already in you already. It just ultimately it's going to come out.
That's a good line.
Yeah, at an early age, I'll say maybe 5 or 6, I discovered I could draw pretty decent. Like I was telling someone before, I skipped over the stick figure syndrome, just drawing images right out the gate.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I was just looking at a rendition of that our grandson gave to me, and it was the depiction of the frog life cycle. And at 5, so, well, actually he had not turned 5, so I don't know what's up the road from here for him, but I'm telling you, listeners and viewers, Pencilman Pointer has a lot to show and share. So I want to find out from you, what kind of supplies and materials were in your home that actually supported that God-given talent?
The basic number 2 pencil and regular paper. That's all we had. At the early ages, but over time it evolved to specialized pencils and regular sketching paper. But at the bare minimum supplies, I just made do what it do.
And you used what you had.
That's absolutely.
Yes. So who encouraged you? So there are times children are talented in certain areas, but sometimes it's not encouraged, it's not pushed. Who encouraged you to stay with art?
I had amazing internal family support. My mom and my dad, they were like, just do you, man. Ultimately, that's going to be your bread and butter, your sole source of income. My dad always, my mom, both, they always encouraged me to keep doing what I was doing. They never said, put that pencil down and because you're going to have to do a real job. No, I got that in-house support, support from a few teachers, not art teachers, just teachers in general. I just had that overwhelming support that I took hold to and ran with it.
So you ran with it, you continued to work in it until you had some roadblocks.
Oh,
Tell us about some of those.
One particular, I would say this was a roadblock, but it made me think when someone told me, you're going to get a real job. You draw pretty good, you're going to get a real job. It kind of stopped me for a little while. And then I went to a junior college, right out of high school. I never had any art classes, any lessons before. I thought I'd give it a shot and see if I could learn anything different to enhance my skill level. And I got a B in that class. Now, a B is good for some people, but for me, I thought I should have got an A. I was as good or better than most of the kids in that class, and that B devastated me. It actually halted my desire, passion for drawing. I actually stopped.
You completely stopped?
Stopped in my tracks for 2 years.
So what did you do during that time?
Just working in at restaurants and different places, and I would sketch a little bit here and there, but not for anybody else. I had stopped doing anything for compensation because I figured, you know what, I'm not gonna be good enough. That's the mindset I had. Even though I knew I was pretty talented, it was kind of like that B just did something to me, my psyche, you know. So yeah, I was pretty much done with art.
It's amazing, isn't it? How just one person, one
Yeah,
situation can cause us to lose hope, perhaps.
yeah, yeah. Hope, drive, you know, the will to do what you know you was destined to do. It can happen. Trust me.
So after those 2 years, Clarence, what was the catalyst to get you back on track?
Well, you know, God has a path for us that we don't know where it is. We just gotta go with the flow, right? So um, I had joined the military. I had joined the Air Force, and I went to Japan, Okinawa, Japan. And I was in my room doing some drawing. You know, just playing around, and this sergeant comes by. A friend of mine name was Tony. And he was like, "Man, that's pretty darn good. You should have some art at the base library for Black History Month." I said, "No, dog, I'm good. I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not, no, I'm not going that route no more." He said, "You're wasting your talent, man. And I'm going to convince you some way to uh, enter this art exhibit or have an art display at the base library for Black History Month." I said, "Hey, try all you want. It's not going to happen."
So you were really adamant about I'm not doing this anymore. And in your mind, maybe you weren't thinking about it consciously, but in your mind, you were still in that space with that instructor.
Of course, it was a taboo or something that was still lingering, but let's say God had better plans. So this sergeant said, "Look, every day between 5 and 5:30, I'm gonna bang on your door until you say yes." And I said, "Come on, Cletus." And every day between 5 and 5:30, he came bang on my door. Uh, and on Friday of that week, I just left the door wide open. You know, he hit a knock. He came in. He said, "Oh, you submitting to my request."
Clarence, Clarence, you're leaving that door open. I just thought about it. That's a real metaphor.
Yes.
Leaving the door open.
Yeah, yeah. So I submitted to his request. I did about 10 quickies, and everybody was ooh and ah and raving and, you know, googly eyed over them and stuff. I'm like, they're just some quickies.
Were you surprised at the response?
Not really. I mean, I really wasn't. Uh, but it took that nudge for me to put it out there to recognize that, okay, people do appreciate what I do. So quit being a knucklehead and start doing what you was blessed to do. So I took the reins by the horn, so to speak, and the rest is history.
So you had so the college instructor that in your head, and then the knock on the door that changed things for you. So although it appeared that you were leafless, you were really still growing and developing,
Oh, absolutely.
even with that in your subconscious.
Exactly. You can't dispel a gift that God gave you as much as you want to. Even those who don't use it, it's still there. You know, sometimes you need that push, that nudge, that insightful person to come into your life to bring it back out again, to reignite the flame that you still got. You
So
know,
this
so
one, yes. So that situation, your display during that Black History Month opened the door for other things. Tell us about some of those.
oh yeah. I mean, it's like I started entering more art. art contest on the base. That was in Okinawa, and like I said, I would win honorable mention. It was kind of discouraging, a little bit, because I know it would win first, second, third place. And it was for a reason. I wasn't good enough. I was plain and simple. But you got to be open to hear people when they speak to you. And this young Okinawan guy told me, Pointer-san, do you know where you never win? I said, no. He said, how much time do you put into your projects? I said, I'd like to get over with. He said, that's why you don't ever win. You got to put more time into what you're doing. And I thought about that.
Yeah, so even with the talent, you still have to work on making sure that it's well developed.
Absolutely. So I took it to heart and get back to the States. And I won first, second, and third place in my first art contest. So I took time to fine tune, be overly critical of my own works to my own satisfaction. And, so many opportunities have sprung from that. I mean, mega presentations, mega connections, it's just been crazy.
So Clarence, before you left Okinawa, one of the officers had you do some work for him. Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, a couple. Right after following the Black History program, I had a female captain who wanted one of my pieces of artwork. And when we had a potluck at her home, she asked for it. And I gave it to her. She said, well, how much is it going to cost? I said, we're going to cost, it was back in 1986. I said, well, $30. And she was like, $30? That's it? $30. I said, yeah. She said, if you had said 70, no, she said, if you had said $100, I would have paid you. I was like, great, I got a deal. She said, oh, no. I got a deal. You said $30. But she's handed me a check for 70. She said, if I ever hear about you selling yourself short again, I will size 10 female shoe. You get me? I said, yes, ma'am. So the very next week, my colonel sees my artwork in the park on a Saturday. He didn't say anything, just walked by and kind of nodded his head a little bit, kind of stern, Colonel. So Monday I go to work. And they said, Colonel Costanza wants to see you in his office. Now, you don't go to his office unless you're in trouble or get an award. And anything to get an award for, I don't think. I don't think I didn't get in trouble for either. So
you were really wondering what is going on.
Of knees knocking, armpits sweating, So I go in there and he says, at ease. So when he said at ease, I knew I wasn't in trouble. So he was like, so those your artwork I saw in the park? I said, yes, sir. He said, do you think you can draw me? I'm like, absolutely. Now, I remember what Kevin Wade had said. He said, how much you want to charge me? I said, $150. He said, $150? Good God. He said, well, okay. And I said, well, I need half now. He said, I'll get to you, tomorrow. And he needed for his wife for Mother's Day. And this is the beginning of March. Mother's Day is in May. I said, well, time is of an essence. Can I work on it while I'm at work tonight or for the next 2 weeks? He said, you pushing it. I said, well, I got to get done in time for you to get to your wife for Mother's Day. He said, well, okay.
Clarence, so going back to when the lady,
yes,
that piece, now what she told you has really kicked in, huh?
It kicked in. It kicked in. And I didn't hesitate to use what she had told me.
Yes.
And you got to be aggressively knowing your value know your net worth, so to speak. So when he put me to his office, I was in control. Once he said what he wanted, I was in control then. I was the commanding person in charge. So bottom line is I finished that project. He loved it. And I began to make a lot of extra change in the dorms and around the base until I left about a year later.
So Clarence, your work is absolutely amazing. I want to share just a few of them that you have here. Let's see if I can get them. That's not the one. I need to learn how to do this. But you sent me some amazing pictures, so let me get them and share with the audience.
Sure.
For them to see some of what you have done. Let's go to the top here. Tell us about this one. This is amazing.
It is amazing. I was like, I get a call from my female buddy of mine from Okinawa. She's a sister. Name is Kim Staten, and she lives in Las Vegas. Well, Andrew Young was coming to Las Vegas for It Takes a Village annual gala they have, fundraiser, as a keynote speaker. And she said, Pencilman, I need you to do, I need to know if you have time to do a journal Ambassador Andrew Young. I was like, well, when's he coming? In a couple of weeks. I said, a couple of weeks. I said, you know what, for you, since you're my buddy and all, I can make it happen. So I get there, drive 3 hours to Las Vegas, make a presentation. And as you can see, he loved it. I don't think he ever had anything like ever done before. And it was a highlight. It was a highlight of my career, one of the highlights.
That is, and look at that. And you do all of this with pencil.
100% pencil. Yes. Yeah.
Let's look at another one here. Talk to us about this one.
Now, this is a person that when I mention her title, so to speak, most folks don't understand who she is. When I say she's the first lady of Motown Records, most folks think Diana Ross or Tammy Terrell or Richard Franklin, people like that. So no, they weren't the first. The first was Lady Claudette Robinson. You know that who? Claudette Robinson. Don't you know who she is? The first lady of Motown Records? They're like, no. I said, yes, you do. I said, the first group to sign with Motown Records was The Miracles. Smokey Robinson, Claudette Robinson was his wife, and she sang with the group. So that makes her the first lady of Motown Records.
You're giving us some history.
Yeah, huh? So I got called by a publicist, event coordinator. I'm not sure what title it is, Cynthia Bugsby, to do a portrait of her because the city of Los Angeles was presenting her like a key to the city type event for all her things she's done for the city since the group dismantled back in the early 70s. So she's still a pillar in the community. And they called me to do this portrait for her to present to her at this huge event. And I was elated. As you can see, she loves it. She, that's big old smile on her face.
Same smile that you drew.
You know, so yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, all my images have stories behind them.
Well, here's one.
Okay, this one, most folks don't know the history behind this picture. But John Carlos. Well, same scenario. My Kim Staten coming by this image too. Now, this was a really short notice. The event was on a Sunday. No, it was on a Saturday, and she called me the Sunday prior to the Saturday.
Wow. So you were busy.
Yeah, I knocked it out really quick. But when I mentioned the name John Carlos, most folks it don't register. And I say, you remember two guys in 1968 Olympics? One had the black glove, they both had the black gloves, one right hand, one the left hand. Fist in the air. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember now. Well, do you know the significance of the gloves? They said, what do you mean? Tommy Jones had one in the right hand, he won the gold medal, and John Carlos had the left hand, the bronze medal. But the white dude from Europe won the silver. And the significance of those gloves were uh, unjust to African Americans in America. But the glove derived from the guy from Europe. He had a pair of gloves, and he was down with their cause, and he gave one a glove each. That's how one had the left and the right glove.
We are not only are we seeing your talent, but we're getting some history. Here's one. Take a look.
Now,
Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory. Now, that's right up there with the Rosa Parks presentation. Close to it. That's closest one. This one, my friend Hope Flood used to have a annual comic review, comic convention every year in LA. So she called me up, of course, and said, man, look, the man's gonna be here. Dick Gregory's gonna be here. I need you to hook it up. So we have a major presentation, blah, blah, blah. I said, Hope, what's my name? I got this. So, and to hear him for that hour that he was talking to the audience and everything, and it was comical, political, serious, just overly knowledgeable on everything that are the questions that was asked to him. Just an awesome people person. And he enjoyed this drawing for about 3 years before he actually passed. So all these people that you see, there's a live presentations. They actually took the artwork home with them and enjoyed it. And I'm just elated to be called upon to create these iconic images for these legends.
That is amazing. Clarence, you are wearing a particular shirt right now. I think you're going to have to move back a bit so people can see it. So tell us about that shirt.
Oh, that's what I wear every day. That's my walking advertisement.
And you get it for free. Your walking advertisement. That's amazing. How else can people get in touch with you? I don't think I got that information, but how can they reach you?
Oh, I'm at Clarence Pointer, pretty much everywhere. Clarence Pointer on Gmail, at my email address, clarencepointer.com, that website, Clarence Pointer on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm easy. I'm not pencilman.com. That's somebody else. So, but someone gave someone, oh, I think it's pencilman.com. And they went to that site and it was not impressed. I said, that's not me.
Make sure you look for Clarence Pointer.
.com.
ClarencePointer.com.
Yeah.
And see more of his amazing work. Get in touch with him. He's quick and fast and professional and just awesome work. Clarence, thank you so much for sharing with us and talking to us about how, although you had some somewhat roadblocks, setbacks, you were still working and growing and developing. So while to some you might have looked leafless, as those trees in my background, but on the other side, you were actually growing and developing, and that's encouragement for others as well. So thank you to the audience for listening and sharing. And if you would like to share your Leafless, Not Lifeless story, get in touch with me at Leafless, Not Lifeless. gmail.com, and you can be here as well and share your story. We all have one. Again, Clarence, thank you so much for being with us on this edition of Leafless, Not Lifeless. And thank you for listening and watching. See you next time right here on Leafless, Not Lifeless with Sharon Benjamin. Have a great one, and I will see you the next time.